Today our topic is a very important topic of nervous system. This is corticospinal tract, or we say a pyramidal tract. This is among the most important topic of neurophysiology basically. Now, basically, to understand this topic, we have to understand some important concept. First, why this tract is called as corticospinal tract. First, we have to clarify this question, its name. So basically, this is the route in which information is traveling. Now that information is traveling from upward brain side towards lower spinal cord side. So this is called as a tract and a type of descending tract. A tract in the nervous system in which information goes downward is called as descending tract. So this is a descending tract which originates start from the cerebral cortex of the brain and come into the its destination, which is spinal cord. That is why this is called as corticospinal tract. Why corticospinal? Start from the cerebral cortex, come into the spinal cord, so called as corticospinal. First this point clear. Now as in each track in this we will do first of all origin of this track, from which area of the brain this originate, we will do that. Then we will see what is the course of that in human brain, then come into the which area of spinal cord, what it do in the spinal cord, what are the function of this tract. Clear? So about its origin, this originate from cerebral cortex, highest area of the brain. And human cerebral cortex is divided into two portions, one right half, one left half. We'll start that how it originates. If brain is divided into two equal parts, two sections, this will be its one side, other will be its other side. Okay? This is one cerebral cortex, this is other cerebral cortex. We are doing its origin of this tract. It originates from three area of the spinal, this cerebral cortex. Which three area? One area which is known as primary motor area. Which area? Primary motor area. Other is along with that another area which is known as supplementary motor area. So primary motor area, supplementary motor area, and an area which is concerned with the sensory system. These two are concerned with the motor system. Primary motor is a supplementary or secondary motor area, and this is known as sensory area or sensory cortex. So this tract originates from special cells present in this cortex. How much originate from each which area? This is known as K30 30 40 rule. 30% from primary motor area, 30% from secondary or supplementary motor area, 40% this tract originates from primary somatosensory cortex or post-central gyrus. This is its origin. Clear? From which cell it originates, this also should be in your mind importantly. The type of important cell here are Betz cell. These are important cells which give rise origin to this tract, like that. If there is nucleus of this cell, this tract will originate from these nuclei and will go in downward direction. Clear? It come in downward direction in the cerebral cortex, and then will come and lower down it will form an important structure here. Now see its projection is, now in this projection also some ascending tract are going from downward towards upward side, but we are doing this descending tract, so we will concentrate upon this. Now this form a fan like structure. This fan-like structure, this is known as corona radiata, like radiation are emitting. Clear? So in its course, corona radiata then will come and form and they will converge at a point. This point is known as, they will form like a capsulated structure. This is known as internal capsule. As this is inside the brain, so known as internal capsule. Okay. This is up to cerebral cortex, whole of this area. Now lower down it has to cross the midbrain, then pons, clear, then we have medulla. So this will travel in them, all travel. This will go same here, will cross the midbrain, then will cross the pons. Then at the level of medulla, this whole track will form a very important structure, and that structure appear in a shape like a very ancient building that are discovered in the Egypt, known as pyramids. So in the medulla, these tracts form a physical structure. That structure is like medulla in present in the Egypt. So pyramids present in the Egypt, that are present in the medulla, same pyramidal type structure which is present there in the Egypt. So that is formed by this tract. So they form in the medulla on the same side. This is same side. Structure known as pyramids. So due to forming this structure in medulla, these are also called as pyramidal. Clear? Corticospinal tract, descending tract, coming and form pyramids in the medulla. Thing is same. So these are also called as pyramidal tract. Now here what will happen? In the upper portion they will form pyramid. In the lower portion of medulla here, this tract will be divided into portions. Majority of the tract will cross the opposite side. Some fiber will remain on the same side. Clear? It is said that 1/5 of fiber remain on the same side. 4-5 crosses. Or simply we can say around 80% fiber crosses the opposite side. 20% remain on the same side from which they have originated. So this is called as its crossing, and crossing of this tract is called as, this is a term for that is used known as decussation. Decussate, cross the opposite side. What that is called? Decussation. This is called as decussation of this corticospinal tract. It occurs in the lower portion of medulla, and here it forms two separate tracts. Clear? Which two separate tracts? This one which crosses the opposite side, lateral side. So this is known as lateral corticospinal tract. And this one which remains on the same side, this is known as anterior corticospinal tract. So up to now what we have seen, on the same side it is coming at the lower medulla. When they form pyramid in the lower portion, they are crossing the opposite side, they are forming lateral corticospinal tract, and on the same side they are forming anterior corticospinal tract. Then this will come into the spinal. Clear? So this is its higher course. Now we will do its course in the spinal cord. Okay, what it do in the spinal cord? Now, if we draw a spinal cord here, this is its midline. Now, majority of tract come in that side. This tract, this is cross fiber. We originate this from here. It is lateral corticospinal tract. Ultimately, these fiber will come and they will synapse with the important other cell known as anterior motor neuronal cells. These anterior motor neuronal cell ultimately has to supply the important skeletal muscles. Clear? Now, lateral will synapse on the same side. Now what will happen to this anterior one? The anterior one will also cross at this level to opposite side. Clear? So ultimately we can say a lateral one and anterior one when crosses at lower level in the spinal cord where it has to supply the skeletal muscle, this tract has crossed to opposite side at functional level. So we can say corticospinal tract supply the opposite side muscles. Clear? Now this originates from neuron, come this neuron, its fiber crosses in the lower medulla, some remain on the same side, then ultimately crosses at the spinal cord level. Ultimate result is this side cross with this side tract will supply the opposite side. Clear? So now another important concept is how many neuron in this tract. See that diagram and think how many neurons should be in this tract contributing fiber and neuron. There are two neurons. See that first neuron is that one which originates from the cerebral cortex from three areas. Then same fiber is coming, no cell here. Ultimately cell is present here in the anterior motor neuron in the spinal cord. Now two neuron, one neuron which is coming and that is conveying the message from upper portion of the brain to lower portion of spinal cord. Other is the neuron present in lowerly in the body in the spinal cord is supplying the muscle. So as this neuron is upper, its fiber are present upward, start from upward direction. This neuron is also called as upper motor neuron. Remember that. As this is present lower in the spinal cord, these neurons are also called as lower motor neurons. Clear? Then what it do? Ultimately it supplies skeletal muscle. It is originating mainly from this motor area, primary motor area, secondary motor area. So this is concerned with the motor activity. This tract, we have done its origin, course, now function. What will be its function? Function of this tract will be this tract basically, this control the very important skilled movement. Like we are writing, we are doing a skilled task, we are painting a thing. Clear? Or we are doing a skilled activity. Clear? Making a thing, an architect type work. So that will be function of this tract. Yes. It will control the skilled movement of fingers and feet. Clear? So this is its function, motor activity. All the movement of the hand, feet is controlled by this tract, including skill movement. If this tract is not present, we cannot move our hand. Importantly, clear that concept. Now we will see if suppose that is its function, function is painting, we say writing. What will be effect of lesion? Now importantly, this upper neuron influence lower neuron, and they are holding these lower neuron. Assume that someone is flying a kite. That person have put a kite in his hand and kite is under his control and kite is flying very high in the sky. Suppose that the kite fly more high and come out of control of that person. There is some problem in his hand and kite fly. Then kite is in its own control. He cannot do anything with that kite. So same time scenario occur upper motor neuron normally influence these. If upper motor neuron does not influence them, and this area, this portion of the upper motor neuron, suppose if is cut due to any abnormality at any level, what will happen? These neurons will be not controlled by them and they will do their own activity, abnormal activity, which is normally checked by these neurons. So what will happen in them? If these neurons are damaged, they will create symptom known as symptom of upper motor neuron lesion. And what will be these symptoms? In them, the muscle will be affected in such a way that there will be paralysis of muscle. Paralysis means we will be unable to move these muscles. ठीक, of opposite side. Importantly, other effect if we check the reflexes in these muscles, there will be increased reflexes known as exaggerated reflexes. So reflexes of these muscle will be increased than normal, especially deep tendon reflexes. Superficial reflexes will be lost and tone will be increased, and also there will be spasm of these muscle. We cannot move these muscle and they will be spastic in nature. Deep tendon reflexes will be exaggerated. And also another important sign originate in them. This sign is known as Babinski sign. Babinski sign is that if we touch the sole of feet with some pointed object, the finger which should normally go downward, the thumb, also the big toe that will go upward. Clear? So abnormal Babinski sign will be generated in this type of lesion when these corticospinal tract or pyramidal tract is lesion. There will be affected, there will be paralysis, exaggerated reflexes, especially deep tendon reflexes, superficial reflexes will be lost, and also Babinski sign will develop. Clear that? We will revise our lecture. What we have discussed today, we have discussed an important descending tract known as corticospinal tract. This corticospinal tract originates from cerebral cortex, convey the message to spinal cord. What it do? Its origin is from three area of the cerebral cortex. 30% primary motor area, 30% supplementary motor area, 40% from primary sensory area known as post-central gyrus. From this originate, then it form a structure, fan-like structure known as corona radiata, then come and this converge at the internal capsule, then go downward, passes through midbrain bones, and when it come in the medulla, it form a pyramid-like structure, like pyramid of Egypt. So due to that reason, this tract is forming pyramid. This is called as pyramidal tract in the upper portion of medulla. Then in the lower portion of medulla, 80% fiber of this tract crosses the opposite side and form the lateral corticospinal tract. 20% remain on the same side called as anterior corticospinal tract. Then in the spinal cord, ultimately these fiber of lateral corticospinal tract supply the lower motor neuron, which are basically anterior motor neuron cells in the spinal cord. Lateral corticospinal tract remains on same side, which is its cross side. Anterior corticospinal tract will also cross at the level at which it supply the lower motor neuron. Ultimately, corticospinal tract control the opposite side muscles. And what is its function? It controls the motor activity, movement of the muscle, especially skilled movement. Clear? Skilled movement are controlled by this, like painting, writing, these things. Now, if unfortunately this is damaged, most common cause of its damage is it is damage at the level of anterior capsule in an important disease known as cerebrovascular accident. Clear? Called as Farley. In that, what happened at the level of internal capsule, there is necrosis in the brain, so this tract will be damaged. When this tract will be damaged, what symptom will appear? In the supplying muscles will be, their reflexes will be exaggerated, especially deep tendon reflexes. Superficial reflexes will be lost, the muscle will be paralyzed, we will be unable to move these muscles, and there will be strong spasm of these muscles due to increased tone in these muscles. And also an abnormal sign in their feet appear known as Babinski sign. Thank you so much for today's lecture.